Hello, everyone. This is Steven Schinder here on Yesshift with another Steven's Venue Adventures segment. It's been a little while since the last time I did one of these. In fact, maybe it was the last time I saw fake band practice at Regal Inn. But yeah, this time around, I ended up seeing my friend's band, Fake Band Practice, over at the Doll Hut in Anaheim. They had a run of three shows recently. Two of them were at the Doll Hut. One was in Grand Terrace, further up north. That one, the one on the 18th, was actually on one of the members, one of my friends, Derek Goodwin's um, birthday, and it might have been nice to have seen it on his birthday, but I had like some other things scheduled that night anyway. But it really worked out seeing them last night on September 20th at the Doll Hut. And there were some other bands booked there as well, which I'll read off from here. There are like maybe 7 or 8 of them. Let me check. So, and this was not the order in which they performed, but the night included Weaponized, Cheeseball, The Clowns, Carpit, spelled Carpit, Fake Band Practice, Tragic Radicals, DNS, and Reincarnates. I was able to see a couple of them up close, and others I heard while outside of the Doll Hut and doing other stuff. I'll get into that. But this is a venue I've been to, I think, once before. I can't remember if I went a second time before this time around, but yeah, I saw them. I saw Fake Band Practice at the Doll Hut back in, I want to say, February 2023. So I guess like 2.5 years ago. And they've played there other times since, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, this venue is a bar, and they decorate the walls with stickers that have the band's logos, which that, the sticker aesthetic, and it just stickers in general. And I know this is a very me thing. To me, stickers are not very aesthetically pleasing. I think it stems back to when I was a kid and there was like a VHS tape that had stickers on it, but at least one of them had been peeled in such a way where it was torn and it looked ugly. So I guess in the back of my mind, I kind of have that when it comes to stickers, that sort of sticks with me, pun not intended. And so, yeah, and seeing a lot of stickers together, even if they're not torn or peeled or whatever, somehow, to me, it kind of looks messy, but I understand that it's to like represent all the different artists that have played here. So I totally get it, and it very well could just be a me thing. So I arrived at the Doll Hut around the time the doors opened at 7 p.m. And the drink I ordered was just one of those cocktails where it's a fizzy drink with some flavor added to it. So it was essentially had Sprite with mango flavor in it, and it had a lot of ice there as well. And it didn't really live up to what I was imagining it would be like. Quite honestly, I could have probably just gotten Sprite by itself and I would have felt more satisfied. But the overall vibe, it was taking me a bit to ease into being back here at the Doll Hut, because there were some people there that I didn't know, which feels somehow more noticeable when it's a smaller place and not as many people like in a theater or something big like that. But as the night went on and my friends showed up, and people I knew showed up, it was easier to feel more comfortable. Again, probably a me thing. So the first band that went up, and this was about 7:30 ish. So this would have been inside, close to the bar. I was sitting on a bar stool, the second closest one from the stage. And the first band to go up was DNS, which stands for Dead Never Sleep. And that whole night, I spent the whole night thinking that they were called ONS because of the way the logo was stylized on the drum set, and even how the letter O looks on this Instagram post that I saw. Like, if you look closely, it does have the corners that a D would have, but I just thought it was the letter O stylized to look more like an oval or something. But yeah, it turns out it's DNS, Dead Never Sleep. And basically there were a bunch of punk rock bands at this in this show, this lineup. So this was one of them, and the first song that they played was Safe Word. And I should mention that I meant to bring earplugs with me, but being in such a rush when I was leaving home, the thought escaped me. And so when I got there, I was like, oh, shoot, maybe I need to have earplugs probably, since given the close proximity and everything, this will probably be really loud. And I saw that on the menu, behind the bar, they said earplugs $1. So I asked for some, but they had run out apparently. And then I remembered that I have these earbuds that I carry around with me, and these were very somewhat effective actually. I put them into my ears, and the music didn't feel as loud as it was if I had these outside of my ears. So those made for a good filter. But yeah, next time I go to a similar type of concert where I know the music is going to be really loud, then I'll be sure to bring earplugs. So like I said, the first song was Safe Word. The second one was Sitting Ducks, which was from DNS's first EP, which came out in 2020. They introduced the titles of each of the songs before playing them, which is very refreshing, and I think should be normalized so that audiences always know what the song is and can look it up later. It's just so much easier than trying to figure it out in the moment by googling the lyrics and on your phone and whatnot. And the singer was there's a type of singing where you would sort of scream the lyrics. So that, coupled with me having my earbuds to block out some of the sound, I could hear the music pretty well, but the lyrics were often tough for me to decipher. So whether there was anything vulgar, I could not tell you. Like, I'm not the best person to ask for that, but the music definitely had my feet tapping. So, and maybe the lyrics were good as well. So then they played Pale Horse from their last album, Origins of Evil. And then after that, they played Warning, which was from their first EP. And then the next one was Shadow Hell, which apparently there's a music video of that. After that, they played Crucifix, which they said was from the new EP coming out soon. Wonder when that'll be. And then after that, they played Broken, Don't Resist, and The Plague. And there actually is a music video on Dead Never Sleep's YouTube channel of Don't Resist, filmed actually at the Doll Hut. It came out on the 18th of this month. So you could look up that video and get a good idea of what the Doll Hut looks like. Would probably do more justice than any photos I take would, So for Don't Resist, again, I wasn't sure what all the lyrics were in the moment, but when I was able to look it up on their Bandcamp later on, I was trying to figure out, what is the song trying to say? Because we're so used to people saying to resist. So with a song saying "Don't resist," I'm wondering, is it trying to say the opposite thing, or is it saying that other people would say that thing to you and you should rebel against people saying "Don't resist"? And so, looking at the lyrics toward the end of them, "Don't resist" is in quotes, and then it says that's what they tell you. So I think it's the latter, like talking about how people will tell you don't resist, and there's all this stuff in the, they talk about stuff in the news and whatnot. Not anything specific, like, but that there are some things in the news that might be upsetting to people, just being very general with it. So I do think it's telling you to not listen to people who say don't resist. If I'm wrong, people can go ahead and correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And yeah, the band was very tight. They were very in sync with each other. And each of these songs that they played they felt like they were maybe 2 minutes each, so much quicker than what I'm used to. But they kept up their energy and were very into it. So it's really great when a band is able to just really gel together really well and convey the material how they're able to. So after their set, it was another band's turn, but what they would do is they would have a band play inside the hut, as DNS did at this point, and then the next band. So basically, the odd-numbered bands would be inside, and the even-numbered bands on the lineup would be in the back, like behind the hut. It's like this back area behind the building, and there's a stage there. And so there's another band that played then, and I wasn't, you know, able to really examine whichever band that was because my friends showed up, from fake band practice, and also, Keon is the drummer. I've known him since college. For those of you who may have missed it, months earlier this year, Dad and I interviewed Keon, the drummer, and Derek. We interviewed them on Drum Talk TV, so you could go ahead and check that out over on YouTube and Facebook. And yeah, so that was a really fun interview to do. But yeah, and Keon's girlfriend Jenny was able to see this show too. So it was my first time seeing her in maybe a little more than a year, or actually no. Last time I saw her was at our friend's wedding in November of last year. So would have been almost 10 months, maybe a little more than nine and a half, maybe. I don't know. So we caught each other up on what we've each been up to. And I also helped the band carry some of the stuff. Like I had like the big drum thing and its bag or whatever. So I basically carried that and I brought it to the stage, and we hung outside the hut for a little bit. And that fake band practices set was at about 8:30, or so. They were able to go up after the band that was playing in the back had finished. So their set was a bit different from the last time I saw them, which is really neat. I really appreciate when bands do that. You got to really change it up. So they started with Movie Star Girl, which to me is like maybe the most popular or maybe most memorable, most catchy song, I guess I would say. I don't know how frequently each of the tracks get played. Their EP, I'm Out of My Mind, is available on Apple Music and places. So the title track of that was the second song in this set. So yeah, they were really tight. Then they played a new song called Artesia, like named after the city. And that was a surprise. I wasn't sure if they would play anything new because their EP came out a year ago. Actually, the anniversary of that passed on the 17th, apparently. I saw the date when I looked it up on Apple Music, and yeah, it said September 17th, 2024. After that, they played what's that song? It has Sierra in the title. Let me just look it up real quick. So yeah, it was called Here's to Sierra Vista. So that's another good one. And again, Fake Band Practice consider themselves emo pop punk. So there's some stuff that's catchy and stuff that's parts that are slower um, and parts that are speedier. So yeah, definitely check out their EP. The fifth song they played was Summer, and then after that they played, I think it's called Find Me. And then they put another new song called Lab Rat. So again, that was another surprise. So really looking forward to whenever they're able to put out the new music on another release. And then their closing song was actually a cover of Chapel Roan's Red Wine Supernova. So that one was a bit softer for a bit, and then midway through became more rocking. And so I think that's maybe they did like their own arrangement of it, similar to how we have seen bands like Yes handle their covers of material from other bands. And yeah, I told uh, I was at a friend's birthday party recently, and we had music videos playing on the TV screen. And having seen a couple of Chaperone's music videos, it seems like music videos have really evolved since the 80s. And that's probably me being super out of the loop with some of the other music videos that have played over the last several years, like on TV and stuff. But yeah, and Chaperone's album is great. So it was very fun to see Fake Band Practice's take on this song. So after that, another band played in the back behind the hut, and some of us went outside for a bit. There's this taco truck that had some really good smelling food. It was called Frank's Taco Bar. And so I ended up getting the this I think it was altogether an $11 plate where there are these three tacos. I chose to have one chicken, one adobado, one al pastor, and also has some rice and beans on the side. Um, and I also got a Coke, which was very fitting considering what I was wearing, which is this shirt. So the shirt I'm wearing has the Joker holding a can that says "Share a Joke," and it looks very much like a Coke can. So what was also fitting is there was also a band called The Clowns. And when we were outside, we saw them standing out there, and then they were like loading stuff. They had these clown outfits and makeup, like striped outfit and very colorful stuff. I really admire the showmanship there, the theatricality. And, clowns get a bad rap. Clowning is a craft. I've been to clowning workshops, and I wasn't, because I was eating the tacos outside, can't bring them inside. I could still hear the music playing, when there are bands in the back, and when the clowns are playing inside on the indoor stage, it was still loud enough for us to hear them outside of the hut. At some point, Jenny and I also noticed this palm tree that has like a satellite on it, and we were wondering if the tree is real or not. It was like somewhere behind by this building behind the hut. So I don't know if we came to a verdict on that, really. But yeah, the clowns had a big sound, again, very punkish. Their final track was, I know that the final song that they played, because I heard them announce it, was Motorboat. And yeah, I do think it does have that figurative meaning. So there you go. And after I finished the food, we went back inside, and we sort of stood inside still, but we're looking out through the a doorway in the back where we could see the stage in the back, which was where this other band Weaponized was performing, and they also sounded very punk. The first song that they played was some sort of song about war, and then after that was Dark Shadows. Um, and in this back portion of the hut, still inside, you could see like this arcade. These arcade games. This screen apparently had options like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and stuff. But after these first two songs in Weaponized set, a few of us like had to head out. So that's the point when I started heading home. So I was not able to see all of these bands up close, but I want to have like a good time, catching up with friends, talking with them, and that's part of the experience. So it really is a what's it called? A give and take. And I think I made good choices with when to tune in and when to hang out with people. And I could still hear the music outside of the building, even when I wasn't looking directly inside. So yeah, and occasionally you could like outside there would be a bunch of people, and I would try not to like bump into them. But yeah, overall it was a really fun night. It kind of went above my expectations. I don't know why I was oh, sorry, I think my dog is making some noise. It's actually his birthday today. My dog Elias. Um, yeah, he's just waking up. All right, but yeah, I think that's pretty much everything about that night. So again, check out any of these bands, see if any of them are your speed. I'm sure you can find their stuff online. And yeah, I guess the next uh, concert that I'll be going to will be Yes and then Steve Hackett, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. They're the same week back to back in November, and then in December I'm going to try to see John Lodge. So not sure if there are any other concerts I'm seeing apart from those three, but I guess we'll see. So thanks for tuning in to another Steven's Venue Adventures segment. I'll be doing another Vinyl Adventures segment this coming Tuesday, the 23rd at, I believe, noon Pacific. I'll be talking about my vinyl copy of Nexus by Virgil Howe and Steve Howe that has arrived recently. So, I had Lunar Mist in vinyl, and so I thought to myself, I have Nexus on CD, but I gotta have that on vinyl as well. So, really looking forward to talking about that. And then we have Derek Schulman on Thursday, the 25th at noon Pacific. So keep on following Yesshift and see all the fun stuff that we're doing. And also a few other news items came out like in the days following that last news desk I did. So maybe I'll have to do another one of those before the month ends or something. So we'll see. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.